it's gave its new heights. You know, it's fantastic, and all I can see is it's just going to get bigger and better.
This field has been so tough, and every race I go out there, I'm like, oh man, this isn't going to be easy, and every track's different.
I think this is a big credit to Speedway, and I tell you what, the world has been focused on this series. All around the world, everybody's been calling, keeping tabs on what's going on, and guess what? You guys got to see it, man. That's hot.
The International Speedway Masters, initially staged between 1995 and 2001, was arguably the biggest speedway motorcycle series in the world. Each year, the world's best riders would converge upon Australia to contest a grueling national tournament, regarded as the ultimate battle of the brave. The top Australian riders, comprising Jason Crump, Lee Adams, Craig Boyce and Todd Wiltshire, to name just some, would face a foreign invasion, featuring the likes of world champion Simon Wigg, Sam Ermolenko, Tony Ricardson, Greg Hancock, Billy Hamill, Kelvin Tatum and Mark Laram. It was Speedway at its brilliant best.
Adams is the leader. Greg Hancock now up on the inside. Adams now runs back as well.
In 2024, it returns in a reimagined format over 2 blockbusting nights and incorporating the ground-pounding sidecars. The three-wheel Gladiators were always a major part of the International Speedway Masters spectacle, running as support to the 500cc solo superstars in what was a golden era.
Now he gets to that outside running and kicks on. He seems to get the drive. Oh, does he what? Round the outside.
Tonight at Gillman Speedway Stadium, the dirt track daredevils take centre stage in an event featuring the world's best teams from Australia, the United States of America and New Zealand. The who's who of international sidecar speedway are here to contest an event named in honour of the greatest rider of all time. Welcome to Adelaide for the Darrin Treloar Cup on this night 1 of the Icon Suspension International Speedway Masters, presented by Ray White Gawler. You may have purchased a full seat in the crowd, but we guarantee you'll only need the edge. Terrific to have your company, and welcome to Gillman Speedway Stadium in Adelaide. This venue located close to Port Adelaide, great part of Australia. And this is night 1 of the Icon International Speedway Masters. I'm joined by Rod Colquhoun, and this is part 1 of 2 featuring the Darrin Treloar Cup for sidecars tonight.
Yeah, very excited to be here, Dave. Thanks so much for the invitation. And as we just saw, the track looks absolutely sensational. Possibly the greatest lineup of sidecars in Australia for over a decade. Going to be an absolute treat.
We have riders from 3 nations represented tonight. The 17-time American AMA champion Joe Jones is here, as well as 2 crack Kiwi outfits. That is Brodie Cohen and Jess Headland on camera, riding at number 1 tonight. Jess Headland makes a comeback tonight, a former 2-time World Speedway sidecar passenger champion.
Yes, he certainly is a talent. Max Housen, Riley Commons, one of the best young combinations in the country.
He's a veteran, Stuart Firth from Brisbane, and his passenger Jason Martin, who's also had great success in road racing. Very versatile motorcyclist, the man on the right-hand side. He's a bit of a slick track specialist, Stuart Firth, and he'll be hoping for slick tonight. I'm not sure he'll get it though.
No, exactly, and he's a very handy mechanic, so he knows how to set the bike up very well. Our 4th combination, Mike Zacken and Ben Franklin.
Yep, of course they are multiple New Zealand champions and multiple New Zealand Grand Prix champions. And Mike Zacken, Rod, one of the best engineers in the sport. He builds the all-conquering Stinger frame, which Mark Playstead has ridden to victory in 3 national championships. He's a genius. That's Joe Jones, the American, 17-time American champion from California on the left, and his young passenger, a local, Jaron Sylvie.
Yeah, big thrill for Jaron.
Absolutely. Joe Jones brought his entire family to Australia to take part in this Darrin Treloar Cup. His son is an extremely good junior solo rider, and he's been doing some laps at the Signwider track down the road. Now we see the man of the moment, Darrin Treloar. Tonight he is being honoured, the event being named after him, the greatest sidecar speedway rider the world has ever seen and ever will see.
Yes, absolutely is, and as you say, always will be.
And Blake Cox, his passenger. Blake hails from the Newcastle area, the Hunter Valley region of New South Wales. These are local stars, Damien Niche on the left-hand side and Mitchell Spear on the right. Yep, so we just saw Trent Headland there and his passenger Jackson Rayner. He's one of the boys to beat tonight, Trent Headland and his passenger likewise. Tyler Moon and Adam Lovell, the winners of the Australian Speedway Centenary. We just saw at number 9. Number 10, Josh Wells and Corey Blackman out of Western Australia. This is a big gun pairing. Mark Plaisted, Ben Pitt. They'll be tough to beat tonight.
Absolutely will. He is the man of the last 3 or 4 years. He's Mark Plaisted.
Indeed. We saw Dylan Moon and Sean Mason there. The Kiwis briefly. And that's a look at some of the riders taking part tonight. Moon and Lovell from Townsville in far north Queensland can never be underestimated at any event in Australasia. Outstanding combination. There's Moon and Mason. I alluded to them. Also, multiple winners of the New Zealand Championship and New Zealand Grand Prix. Another one of the heavy hitter combinations, rather, Justin Plaisted and his new passenger, Brian Anthony, who used to ride with Mark Plaisted.
Yes, and Justin, obviously one of the few sidecar competitors who has won the title numerous times as a passenger, then switched to being a rider and also won it.
Yes, he's only one of two.
Amazing.
Bob Levy the other, the late great Bob Levy.
Incredible.
Byron Gates, Mick O'Loughlin out of Mildura. They've had genuine speed this season. Now, this team is worth watching. We just had a quick glimpse at Kim Menadue and Shane Dolan. That man is, of course, Mick Headland, closest to camera, and his passenger, Brenton Kerr. Headland, a former 2-times world sidecar champion. It is a stacked field. It
absolutely is. Yeah, Mick Headland, you can't discount him. You would put him in the veteran category now, but you would also have to do that with Darrin himself. Darrin is no spring chicken, but seems that experience in sidecar racing counts for a hell of a lot.
Indeed. So we've gone back to have another look at Justin Plaisted, whom you alluded to. He's a history maker in this sport. He was very seriously injured a couple of weeks ago. I'll talk more about that later. The opening heats you're going to see on tonight's first part covering the Darrin Treloar Cup are there. Heats 1, 2, 3 and 4. In round 1 tonight you are about to see. Meantime, let's head to the pits. And our man on the spot, Colin Gitcham, caught up with a couple of riders earlier.
Yeah, we came here a couple of years ago. We rode Mark's Plaisted's spear bike. Didn't really pan out too well for us, and in the practice it was probably just as bad, really. So we've got a little bit of work to do. But if we can improve as the night goes on and steal a couple of points away from a few people, we'll be happy.
Yeah, it's a bit different racing for your own name on the trophy, but yeah, I'm honoured that Dave asked me to do this, and I couldn't say yes quick enough. And there's been the support from all the other boys around Australia and international has been unbelievable, and yeah, we've got the top blokes here, and we're at the best tracks, so hopefully we can put on the best racing for everyone.
Colin Gitcham, our man of the pits, catching up with Darrin Treloar briefly, and Mike Zacken from New Zealand. So bikes now on the circuit for the opening heat tonight. For those of you watching Speedway sidecars for the first time, points are accrued in the heats. 3, 2, 1, 0. Winner gets 3. Fourth gets nothing. And underway we are. And over on the inside, Brodie Cohen, the Townsville flyer, began brilliantly. Jess Headland, this is his first time on the side of a bike for quite some time. You wouldn't think so watching him out there. Howson Commons from Broken Hill in New South Wales in second. And back in third it is Stuart Firth and Jason Martin.
Yeah, no surprises there with Brodie Cohen jumping out of the start very quickly. The North Queenslander, possibly the best rider in Australia not to have won an Australian title. I'll tell you what, he's under pressure here.
Yeah, this team out of Broken Hill are getting better. every time they enter an event. Because of their geographical location, they are forced to endure a lot of kilometres to go racing. But the same can certainly be said about the man out in front, the Townsville flyer Brodie Cohen. Their commitment to the sport, the Cohen racing team, is extraordinary. Looking pretty good here, Brodie. Gillman's not been a happy hunting ground for him over the years. Has had more than his fair share of bad luck, but he's going to get the 3 points in heat number 1. Howes & Commons 2 points for second, Firth and Martin 1 point for third. Zach and Franklin a disappointing start for the Kiwi Stars. Race recap.
Yeah, just a replay there. You see a lovely start there from Brodie and Jess. I see one thing I need to just brush up on there. I mentioned that Brodie, possibly the best rider in Australia, not to win an Australian title. Mick Headland should also be in that conversation. My apologies to Mick early in the night.
Oh, that's okay. He's won a couple of world titles.
Absolutely.
Which has helped him manage that crisis, I think.
Yes, no doubt.
But you're quite right in the way you have summed that up. So we advance to heat number 2 now. Massive horsepower, these Speedway sidecars. Thoroughbred, purpose-built, racing chassis, high-tech engines. A lot of different engine manufacturers involved.
Yeah, Honda, Suzuki and Yamaha. Yamaha the primary engine used, but certainly more Hondas and Suzukis creeping in now.
Indeed. The Yamaha R1 engine is the Yamaha of choice and has been for a number of years. Darrin Treloar really pioneered it. Speaking of Treloar and his passenger Cox, they line up in white in this heat. Gate number 3. The American on the inside with Sylvie, Niche and Spear, and Headland Rayner on the extreme outside. Trent Headland, former national champion, has taken the race lead. He got a flyer from the outside starting gate and charges forward in this race. In second spot, it is Niche and Spear. And Darrin Treloar Blake Cox back in third, and that is a surprise.
It is a surprise. Darrin copped a face full of shale coming off turns 1 and 2. Had the reach for a tear-off. Now he challenges for second.
So Trent Headland, he is well clear, and barring unforeseen circumstances, one cannot imagine him not annexing 3 points. He's on his way. Yellow flag on display. 1 lap of the Gillman Speedway Stadium to run. Night 1 of the Icon Suspension International Speedway Masters. The sidecars take centre stage tonight. You'll see it in 2 parts right here. And Headland delighted with that start, as is his young passenger Rayner. Treloar Cox ended up getting second at 2 points. Niche and Spear 1 point for third. And the American Joe Jones and his passenger Sylvie are donut in their opening ride.
Yeah, just watch Darrin Treloar on the exit from this turn number 1. He's in white, cops an absolute faceful there. Has to shut it down momentarily and grab a tear off, but manages to get himself back up into second place. Just here, got himself out in the very deep dirt, and once Headland straightened up, he just nailed him with a big shower of dirt.
This is frenetic. This sport is manic. It is no place for the faint at heart, whether you are a rider or a passenger, but you have to say the passengers are a bit different.
Exactly. Hard to come by.
Yeah, heat number 3. And there is one of the gun combinations, Playstead and Pitt. Mark from Adelaide, Ben Pitt from Mildura. And there's the field. On screen, red helmet colour. Always starts on gate 1 or the inside. Beautiful weather here, about 22 degrees. That's unusually cool for Adelaide at this time of the year. And away we go. And Wells and Blackman have started brilliantly here. And they've been served up on the inside by Playstead and Pitt. Very aggressive, and they go to the front.
That was a really good start from Wells and Blackman. I don't think Mark expected that, but just made light work of them. But if they can hang on to second, they'll be quite happy. Dylan Millen and Sean Mason giving him a good race for second.
Yeah, Tyler Moon and Adam Lovell have fallen out of this one, Rod. They've had a problem and not circulating at the present time. You can see them there on that shot, left-hand side of the screen, parked on the infield. Playstead and Pitt are well gone.
Yeah, no worries at all there for Mark Playstead, multiple Australian champion, and his passenger Ben Pitt, very, very experienced for a relatively young guy. Impeccable style.
Yeah, beautifully turned out team, and have really emerged as a genuine and consistent top 3 in the world over the last 5 years or so, if not even longer than that. So there's the results for heat number 3 for Icon Suspension and Ray White Gawler. And the race recap, again, highlights the manic nature of this sport.
Yeah, and the dirt there on the starts is quite deep, and you see Mark there, he dropped the clutch at wheel stood, he rode the clutch momentarily, tried to get it down and he couldn't, and that allowed Josh and Corey to get away, but here he went right through, and Josh and Corey found themselves a little bit dishevelled from that move, I think, and they lost that second place.
They almost caught Nimoni with the breeze.
They did, he went through quick.
Placed it and Pitt pounced on them. So 3 heats out of the way. Just explaining the format, every rider and passenger will ride in 5 qualifying heats at the end of, and that means there's 20 heats in total because there's 16 riders in the field, 16 teams. The top 2 teams on points at the end of the qualifying go straight to the final, the grand final. The next 8 contest the 2 semi-finals where winner only goes through. Tapes in the air, heat number 4, Menadue and Dolan, a rapidly improving combination. And they lead, but it has been stopped, and bang, we've got some mayhem out there.
Yeah, Justin Playstead didn't see the lights, and it was Mick Headland who'd shut it down. He must have seen the stoppage lights. Unfortunately, copped a fair whack from the back. No one's fault, just an accident.
Yep, one would think it's all fall back in. It was just a racing incident. I spoke about Justin Playstead earlier. He was seriously injured 2 weeks ago, severely torn ligaments in his ankle and knee. The medico said you will not be right to ride. He's been doing hyperbaric chambers, ice baths and intensive physio. He wasn't going to miss this event for anything.
That's good to see.
Great job.
Yeah, anyone, Mick Headland, always, that was exciting stuff.
Yeah,
gets around the outside of Justin and Brian Anthony, unreal.
Yeah, Byron Gates and Mick O'Loughlin out of Mildura are the current leader, but here they come. Playstead and Brian Anthony on the inside. Gee, Gates left a fair bit of room there. And Justin, he's a wily character. He was always going to take the advantage there. So up front is Justin Playstead and Brian Anthony, Mick Headland, Brenton Kerr in second. And after leading early, Byron Gates is now out the back with Mick O'Loughlin.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you what, this is probably the best ride of the night so far. Justin Playstead and Brian Anthony charging away from Mick Headland and looking very fast. Mid to high track, catching the dirt, keeping it straight. Beautiful.
It's a very well prepared sidecar track. To prepare a track for these bikes is a vastly different science than preparing it for the solos that we'll see in episodes 3 and 4. There's the recap in heat number 4 of the results, the race recap.
Yeah, really nice stuff there from Justin. He just got out a little bit slow, but it didn't take him long to make hay.
Yeah, that's right. So Gates and O'Loughlin thought, how good is this? A hole shot, we're leading comfortably, but then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it's just all about that contact there, and it's not illegal in this sport to some degree. There's a lot of biff and barge, and it can be very advantageous. You see there, Justin just moves Mick enough to push him wide, and through he goes. We've seen Australian titles decided in that manner, Dave.
Yeah, Gates left. Gates was actually a gentleman there. He left plenty of room. He could hear and see Playstead coming up on the inside, but he got up a bit too high, and as a result, lost all of his speed. So the leaderboard at the completion of the first round of qualifying heats. Obviously, current Headland, Rayner, Playstead Pitt and Playstead Anthony all enjoying success in their opening ride tonight. So the track is superb. Great job by Sean Chapman, the track curator, and his crew. They started work on it yesterday morning, so it's had 48 hours of preparation, you may as well say. That's the next round of heats you're going to see. Heats 5 through to 8, and once again, there is not an easy race to be found anywhere. Now, this is the sidecar support event, the CBS Bins Sidecar Stampede that has been scheduled. And the situation here is we have 4 very good outfits, and should anything untoward happen to the riders, teams in the Darrin Treloar Cup, reserves will be plucked from this sidecar stampede and put up into the main program. So, Hagan Campbell and Riley Campbell in the red helmet colour. They are also out of Townsville. How is that for commitment? And what a beautifully presented team.
Unreal.
Riding Brodie Cohen's spare bike.
Absolutely superb. And I tell you what, he can ride it. He's on fire.
Oh, he can. He is another emerging star, Hagan, as is his brother Riley on the side of the bike. Leading this one easily.
The one thing I've noticed about the sidecar racing, more so than perhaps the solos, is the integration of a lot of young combinations coming into it. They're certainly getting very interested. And looking good.
Wow. Josh Pascoe and Greg Black in the green helmet colour having a moment. But there is no doubt about this. It is going to be Hagan Campbell and Riley Campbell to take the points in the Sidecar Stampede support for CBS Bids, long-time supporter of Motorcycle Speedway. So, at this juncture, let's head to the pits at Colin Gitcham.
Yeah, it's always good to get the first one out of the way and try and hit the track as hard as he can, get the good times, get the bike together. The track's absolutely fantastic. The team's doing a really good job, and yeah, we're just going to keep chipping away, you know, keep getting those good points and try and make it to the end, and that's where it's all at, you know, wait for the final.
We lifted off the start, so we're going to make a couple of changes, and yeah, you know, you're never happy unless you've got the chicken flag at the end of the night. So we'll just keep chipping away, you know, and get the points in the bag. Yeah, just credit to Chapo and the track crew, mate. That's really raceable, and everyone's having a fat time. And yeah, thanks to everyone for coming out. And just want to say congratulations on a great career to Darrin Treloar. Yeah, awesome job, mate. And yeah, let's see if we can have a few good races and hopefully race him in the final.
Awesome.
My place said, and prior to that, Trent Headland. A quick comment to our pit man, Colin Gitcham, in between rounds of heats. Track is in superb order, and it will only get better as day gives way to night, and we find ourselves racing under blazing floodlights. The moisture will come up from beneath the surface and make it even faster.
It absolutely will. Just one thing to touch on, Dave, before this race goes ahead, because Justin Plaisted's in this. You mentioned he got injured and had a strong desire to compete, obviously, but many competitors, be them solo or sidecar riders, don't ever get to compete in their hometown. So I can certainly see why he was burning to get here, as we have Justin Plaisted and Brian Anthony will be off gate one.
Indeed, and of course that was further strengthened, his desire, by the nostalgic nature of the event and the importance of it. Now, please note, Brodie Cohen and Jess Headland were scheduled to start in this race in the blue helmet colour out of gate 2. They've been replaced by Hagan Campbell and Riley Campbell under the 2-minute rule. We'll talk about that after we describe the start here for you. And best to begin was Justin Plaisted and Brian Anthony. And here's a charge now by the riders I was just alluding to, Hagan Campbell and Ryan Campbell, having a big go in the blue helmet colour.
I'll tell you what, for a young combination, these two look really, really good.
They certainly do. Now, they're out there, as I alluded to, because Brodie Cohen and Jess Headland were disqualified under the 2-minute rule due to a technical problem with the bike. You can explain that more.
Yes, what basically happens in Speedway is the referee has to run the meeting to a certain schedule, obviously to meet deadlines, etc. And they let off a 2-minute klaxon in the pit, so a horn that lets the riders know they've got 2 minutes to be at the start and ready to race. Unfortunately, in this instance, Brodie and Jess were unable to meet that deadline, and as a result, Hagan and Riley got the start.
That's right, and they're making the most of it, or certainly were early in this race. Justin Plaisted, Brian Anthony, easy winners. They are looking really good this evening. Tyler Moon, Adam Lovell second. Third was Hagan Campbell and Riley Campbell, and Joe Jones, Jaron Sylvie at the back.
Yeah, it was a really good ride there from the youngsters, Hagan and Riley Campbell. I must say, North Queensland certainly breeds some amazing sidecar competitors, and this race, a great advertisement for that, with Tyler Moon and Adam Lovell also looking sharp.
Look at this action. One never ceases to be amazed by what the men and women do in this sport in search of victory.
Yeah, and the thing that separates it from most sports is the brutal power. I mean, if you think of a super bike that you watch on TV, it's enormously powerful, and that engine is harnessed in one of these so close to the ground. It's I wouldn't say crazy, but gee, it's close.
On bikes with no brakes.
Yeah, incredible.
Racing close to a wall, albeit an air fence.
Exactly.
In the case of this venue, on the corners.
Yep, that's
And
correct.
most of the time, their vision is severely impeded, with the dirt roost being thrown at them from the bike in front.
Exactly, because they run the same rear tyre as a Solo. They run an 18-inch front wheel, an 18-inch side wheel, and a 19-inch rear wheel with the same tyre as a Solo. So it just throws a hell of a lot of dirt, and you've got over twice as much power on one of these machines. So the roost is incredible.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage of the Darrin Treloar Cup. We now advance to heat number 6. Gates and O'Loughlin on the inside. Not a great start by them. Let's see how this pans out. Look at Darrin Treloar and Blake Cox on the outside here in the yellow helmet colour. They're chasing Joshua Wells and Corey Blackman, who run a contrasting line down low on the track. Treloar very committed here, Rod.
Oh, he certainly is. I'll tell you what, Wells and Blackman, great reflexes, 2 races, 2 amazing starts, and really putting himself in the mix here. Very impressive stuff.
A team on the way up in the sport, certainly vindicating their invitation to attend this event. Now there's a slight error. He's left the room and wham bam. Darrin Treloar and Blake Cox straight up on the inside.
Yeah, he learned from his first ride. When he got past in the first ride, he was getting roosted quite badly. That time he drove inside Darren's roost and tried to keep clean, and so far so good for him, holding on to second.
The TRE Engineering's entry. Treloar meticulous with his preparation. The Ultra Pro, which is why he's a 12-time Australian champion. Treloar Cox 3 points, Wells Black 2 points in second, then House Commons, Gates, O'Loughlin. The Mildura combo are struggling to find their rhythm tonight. Here's the race recap. They cannoned into Josh Wells and Blackman there off the start line. And that was when Treloar asserted his superiority.
He certainly did. There was a couple of nice laps there from our early race leaders, but Darrin Treloar, the master.
The International Speedway Masters is steeped in history. This is how it began. We trust you're enjoying the 2024 Icon Suspension International Speedway Masters, presented by Ray White Gawler. This year's event produces irreplaceable memories of a bygone era, when the world's best riders traversed the nation in pursuit of victory in what was at the time the biggest international series on the planet. Tonight at Gillman Speedway, we pay tribute to the superstars from one of the sport's truly golden eras, all of whom made the International Speedway Masters one of the highest profile events in the history of the sport. Great to have your company. Welcome back to our coverage of the Icon International Speedway Masters. David Tapp and Rod Colhoun joining you trackside. We now advance to heat number 7. We are midway through the second round of qualifying heats in the Darrin Treloar Cup on night 1 of ISM24. And there's the field. Placed in pit, Menadue Dolan, Nish Spear and Firth Martin. Once again, a stellar lineup.
Yes, all 4 of these combinations have looked sharp at different times so far, so this will be something a bit special. Mark Plaisted, Ben Pitt, as we alluded to earlier, arguably the best combination in the country, so tough gig to beat them from the outside.
Keep your eyes on the combo and the blue helmet out of gate too. They are very much an emerging powerhouse of the sport, Menadue and Dolan. Not unpredictably, Mark Plaisted and Ben Pitt go straight to the front. There's that team I alluded to, Menadue and Dolan up into second. They've done plenty of laps around Gillman, getting better every time they hit the surface here.
Yeah, Nish and Spear not doing too bad either. Stewie Firth and Jason Martin could do with this odd point. It's going to be a critical battle for 3rd and 4th. Can't drop too many points early in the night if you want to get into those crucial semis.
So there is the style of the triple Australian champions, former Sidecar Grand Slam champions. They won FIM Gold and Oceania competition. Now they head down the back straight at this Gillman Speedway Stadium. Just a fraction over 300 metres in circumference on the pole line. And across the line they go in heat number 7. So a fairly uneventful heat, that one. Plaisted Pitt annexing the 3 points. Menadue Dolan 2 points. Damien Dix Mitchell Spear 1 point.
Yeah, just in relation to that track size, Dave, just over 300 metres, but whatever the magic is, it's perfect. This track is absolutely brilliant. It relatively small in terms of metres, just over 300 as you said, but it rides big. Everyone you talk to are going, geez, it rides big, it feels fast, and it is fast.
Yeah, big wide corners, a little bit of banking.
Unreal.
And it is arguably the best speedway motorcycle racetrack in the country. And the crowd still continuing to pour into the Gillman Speedway Stadium. A little bit of cloud around, no danger of rain on the radar, and very uncharacteristically cool. 22 degrees, you can see the flag girls there. The breeze is making it a little on the chilly side.
Yeah. Just another thing I was related to the tyres earlier. The same as the solo tyres, what they do is they run a much wider rim on the sidecar. So they screw the tyre and put it on the bead, obviously, screw it to the rim, so the grip area of the tyre is flat, where on a solo it's in an arc or an arch. So most of the rubber is on the ground, obviously required to get that power to the ground.
Yeah, mammoth horsepower. Oh, accident there, Dylan Moon and Sean Mason. The New Zealand combination, dusted, busted and disgusted, but most importantly, they're up and about and they're fine. So one would think the referee will put all 4 back in again. It was fairly harmless racing incident on the first corner.
Yeah, got a little bit of a kick there from, looked like Trent Headland and Jackson Rayner. Might have just got off line slightly out of gate 2.
Right there. Yeah, they picked up some drive and speared up track just slightly. Not
much in it, just enough.
And certainly not intentionally.
No, absolutely not.
So, restart. Heat number 7, CBS Bins. Heat number 8, I beg your pardon. I've gone back in time briefly. Let's see how this pans out. 2 Kiwi teams in the red helmet colour. And, of course, the white helmet colour. Underway we are, Mick Headland and Brenton Kerr. They've been together a long time now. Brenton out of Mildura, Mick Headland out of Murray Bridge. Mick Headland, you would never meet a nicer guy. He just loves his speedway. Has raced all over the world. Has a French wife, and they've been trying to boost the profile of the sport in France over recent years. And no change in the order here. It is Mick Headland, Brenton Kerr, Trent Headland and Jackson Rayner as they run up the main straight, and Dylan Moon and Sean Mason in 3rd spot. looking down the barrel of securing 1 point here.
Yeah, Mick runs a fencing business down there in Murray Bridge, and as you say, Dave, you wouldn't meet a nicer guy. Absolutely lovely man. But put a helmet on him.
Oh,
wild man.
I'm about to say can't persona, but becomes a dead set animal on the Speedway. And there's the race results in Heat 8. So that concludes the second round of qualifying heats. Rod Colquhoun's overview of the race recap.
It's actually a good result here for Mick because he came off gate 4, so it's probably a couple of bonus points in this one. He picks up the 3 out of, I wouldn't say overly difficult, but you can easily get filled in turns 1 and 2. He did his work early and cleared off, so 3 very good points there for Mick.
So we'll now present another heat in the sidecar stampede support, but not before we take a look at the leaderboard at the completion of 2 rounds. Justin Playstead, Brian Anthony and Mark Playstead, Ben Pitt unbeaten, scoring 3 points twice to tally 6. Headland, Mick that is, Brett McCurr and Darrin Treloar, Blake Cox on 5, equal with Trent Headland, Jackson Rayner. So, and the heats that are coming up in round 3, well, there they are. Heat 9, please. Treloar, Mick Headland, Brodie Cohen, Mark Playstead. That is just, that's a world championship field right there in heat number 9. We look forward to bringing you all of that action, and we shall be doing it very soon. We'll get some rider comments on the other side of this race from the pits. Please note, Hobbs and Lowe, scheduled to race on the outside here, are not taking part in the meeting after an issue in the pits earlier. And we get set for a start. Hagan Campbell and Riley Campbell will be very tough to beat here. That's them in the blue helmet colour, and leading comfortably in advance of Josh Pascoe and Greg Black. And a reminder that riders from this sidecar support, the sidecar stampede, will be promoted in the main event if any of the main event riders have problems.
It's always the best way to run a meeting.
And we've already seen it with Hagan Campbell and Riley Campbell replacing, ironically, Brodie Cohen and Jess Headland in an earlier heat of the Darrin Treloar Cup.
Exactly. It means that your primary event always has the 4 riders, which is great. But I tell you what, young Campbell and Campbell are doing very well. Josh Pascoe and Greg Black, they looked handy in their first ride. Campbell and Campbell just getting a little bit of a jump on them in this one.
I think Campbell and Campbell are just a bit smoother. I think Josh and Greg are riding really hard, but haven't quite got the rhythm as the combo we're watching on screen there, exiting turn number 4. So 3 points to Hagan Campbell, Riley Campbell. The riders in this support class will contest 4 heats and a final. Let's head to the pits and hear from some of the riders with Colin.
Yeah, really disappointed with our number 1 bike. Really disappointed for the team, but as anything, we got tenacity. Really huge thanks to Mick Farrell from Farrell Transport, backed me from day 1, and for him to give up his lad and junior Mick to give me a bike to ride means a lot to me. I pushed really hard to get my ankle ready for this.
Yeah, I've seen you.
I'm doing everything I can, so yeah. But we'll just keep chipping away, get points, and just thanks to the crowd for coming to cheer us on.
Yeah, mate, it did. It hurt the feelings. Hardest thing is you got to push on and try and let it go. We did have a spare bike, but I lent it to Hagan to ride the support class tonight, and then he's had a couple of rides. He actually replaced me. So, yeah, it's all about making the sport, making the numbers up, mate, and Hagan's doing a cracking job. So I've just got to pick up the bottom lip and make it count for the next 4.
Yes, indeed. Brodie Cohen will always make it count. You can be rest assured of that. Good to have your company. Gillman Speedway Stadium in Adelaide, the Icon International Speedway Masters, the biggest speedway motorcycle event on the national calendar in the summer of 24-25. And you're watching highlights of night 1, the Darrin Treloar Cup for sidecars, and a world-class field of sidecars. You said it at the top of the show, it's unlikely there's been a field as good as this for a decade or more. And that is the man we're honouring, Darrin Treloar, with the handlebars, red helmet colour, TRE entry, gate number 1. Track will get better. Knight not too far away now. And speaking of Knight, Treloar has blasted away. Here's Playstead on the outside. This is a really good heat in terms of the quality. So Treloar race leader with Blake Cox on the side. Mark Plaisted, Ben Pitt up into second. Real good battle there between Mick Headland and Brett Kerr, who have moved up on the inside of Brodie Cohen and Jess Headland.
Yeah, really good race so far. This is insane stuff from Darrin Treloar and Blake Cox, setting the pace. But now, Darren's nemesis to some degree over the last few years is coming to get him, Mark Plaisted and Ben Pitt. And this is their home track. They're very, very hard to beat around here.
I'd say to a large degree. And you can see there that Plaisted probably has more speed on the way into the corners. Oh, a touch. They come together. The two big guns, arguably the best two teams in the world. Blake Cox has fallen off. Blake, let's hope he is okay. The paramedics will be on the scene quickly. So we've got a halt to proceedings, and here is another look.
Wow, Darren, you'd have to say mildly out of shape. And then the contact, then the connection. Bikes joined together momentarily and sent them completely in the wrong direction. And it's the referee's discretion, which is interesting in Speedway. Once the race has got past the first turn, someone has to be excluded.
Wow. I don't agree with that rule, but that's okay. It's a democracy. We can have an opinion, right?
Exactly.
But the best referee in the country for mine is in charge tonight, Angus Bergea. Also officiating the second night of action in the Lee Adams Medal for solos. The race has been declared. It was well into the event, wasn't it? So Cox and Treloar have obviously been handed no points in fourth. So Plaisted and Ben Pitt salvaging the 3 points. 2 to Mick Headland, Brett Kerr, and 1 to Brodie Cohen, Jess Headland.
Here's our American visitor, Joe Jones, with his local passenger, Darrin Treloar, no doubt enjoying the experience tonight.
Pretty sure that he's an electrician by trade, Joe Jones, in the States. I may have that wrong if I stand to be corrected. Speedway sidecar racing in the United States, not as big as it here is in Australia, but he has been the dominant force around the west coast of the United States for 20 years. Underway, who will it be this time? Dylan Moon and Sean Mason out of New Zealand take the race lead early. Here's Kim Menadue and Shane Dolan, and they're under heavy pressure now from Joe Jones and Darrin Treloar. Although, just as I say that, Max House and Riley Commons barnstorm up into third spot.
I've really enjoyed watching this Menadue combination. They're absolutely superb around this Gillman layout. Very impressive.
I've got to say, in talking to all the riders during the lead up to this event, none were as excited as Menadue and Dolan. They were beside themselves.
Oh, that's great stuff.
To get a call up into this field.
That's brilliant.
It's great to see passion, isn't it? So Menadue and Dolan under some pressure from Max Howes and Riley Commons. Menadue keeps it nice and tidy. He should be okay here. Got a 6 bike length lead, you would suggest, as he exits turn number 4. And Kim Menadue and Shane Dolan take the victory. And with that, secure 3 qualifying points. Howes and Commons in second. Moon and Mason, and Jones and Sylvie. Jones actually showed a little bit more speed in the first lap and a half of that race.
He did. He didn't jump too bad, I should say. My apologies. But this Menadue is very, very sharp. Uses his head, sees a gap, dives for it, but doesn't overplay his hand, which I really like. Very smooth.
Yep. Smooth is fast, isn't it? In any form of motorsport.
Absolutely. He's got a really nice style. Doesn't overlock it going in and just rides it out on the dirt quick. Looks good.
We're honouring a legend of Australian Speedway on night 2 of this event, Lee Adams, who wrote the book on Smooth is Fast.
He did. Wrote the book on style.
Heat 11 now. Trent Headland, Jackson Rayner in red, Tyler Moon, Adam Lovell blue, Stuart Firth, Jason Martin in white, Byron Gates, Mick O'Loughlin in yellow. So South Australia, Queensland, and Victoria represented in this race. Away, tapes flying. In the Icon Suspension International Speedway Masters Incorporated, the Darrin Treloar Cup on night 1. And Trent Headland and Jackson Rayner, they mean business tonight.
Yeah, Tyler and Adam, they've been good, but not quite as good as they usually are. So,
well, they had a problem in the first race and scored nothing. And they're playing catch-up now.
Yeah, he'll be looking to rectify that, no doubt.
Absolutely dominant in the Australian Speedway Centenary last year.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Stewie Firth in third. Not doing such a bad job. He'll want to be a little bit higher up the points if he can get into these semis. He can cause some trouble.
Of course, the surname Moon. Well, it's a real dynasty in this sport, isn't it? And Tyler continues on that great name. Trent Headland and Jackson Rayner doing a nice job. And they take the checkered flag easily. Bit of a lackluster race, that one. Headland and Rayner got away quickly and were never headed and didn't look likely to be headed. Moon Lovell runner-up, then Firth and Martin. Firth, as I said at the top of the show, he does prefer a slick track, meaning not a whole lot of dirt on top for the uninitiated watching.
Yeah, absolutely. But our leader there is one of the first guys that's got out in front and still ridden the outside and just drove away from them. There's nothing you can do. When the leader's riding the fastest line, it's going to take a miracle. And he just rode an absolutely perfect line there, Trent Headland.
So one more heat to remain on today's program. Of course, we come back next week for episode 2, the second part of this meeting. You'll see all the action over 4 consecutive weeks on Fox Sports KO and Foxtel Go, and it's great to have your company wherever you're watching our coverage. Plaisted and Anthony return, Justin that is. Red Gate 1, Mike Zack and Ben Franklin. Blue, Joshua Wells, Corey Blackman, white. Damien Nish, Mitchell Spear, yellow. Again, if the uninitiated, and you're watching this for the first time when we talk colours, we're talking the Hillman colours, not their Kevlars or bikes. It's been a, 100 and something year tradition in Speedway.
Yeah, it's never changed. Not everyone's favourite thing, but it works. So, yeah, Justin placed it great out of the start there. Mike Zachin and Ben Franklin, not too bad. The Kiwis looking sharp.
Yeah, so Justin Playset and Brian Anthony, they are having a splendid night tonight. I talked about it a little earlier. Justin Playset, our race leader, was 1,000,000 to 1 of being fit to ride in this event. And he underwent an exhaustive rehab program. And have a look at him go out in front. Playstead and Anthony, clear leaders here.
These machines running about 20 pound in the rear tyre at the start of the race, and that it can get up to about 25 by the end of the race. So, yeah, a lot more than a solo, more than double the pounds when you start the race and nearly triple when they finish. So plenty of heat.
Yeah, well, they've got the weight of the passenger too to consider,
Absolutely.
haven't they? That would be the primary reason. Checkered flag time in heat number 12. Playstead and Anthony having a splendid night at the office. Nish and Spear, result for the Adelaide combo there. Wells and Black out of WA. And
Probably the first start that Wells and Black haven't made. They've been really sharp on the tapes. But, I mean, in this company, that's very excusable. But Justin Playstead, Brian Anthony, I tell you, they are absolute class. Riding that inside line with some authority.
Yeah, the Farrell Transport Oz fencing entry.
Yeah, and the presentation of that machine, beautiful anodized rims, it just looks like a work of art up close.
Yeah, what? That was a fair battle for second, third, and fourth.
It was.
It was raging for 4 laps. And it will continue to rage. On that note, let's head to the pits.
Yeah, we're chipping away. You know, the track caught us out a little bit that last one. It was a bit slicker than we thought, being the first heat of the round. Bite's going good. Brent's doing a great job. Yeah, we're just going to keep chipping away at points and see how we go at the end.
Well, so far I'm going in the right direction. We're just chipping away. At the start, we've made a fair few changes to the bike for this meet tonight, and yeah, we're slowly getting our head around it now, and all we can do is just go out in every heat and just take every corner as we can and hopefully get as many points in the bag as we can. So.
Yeah, good job now. The leaderboard at the completion of 3 rounds of heats. Playstead and Pitt unbeaten. Likewise, Justin Playstead, Brian Anthony. Next on the scorecard, Mick Headland and Brenton Kerr, followed by Trent Headland, Jackson Rayner, Darrin Treloar, Blake Cox. A bit of work to do on 5, along with Housen, Commons, and Menadue and Dolan. There's the details of the second part of the show. You'll see it next week, 28th of January at 7 p.m. Now, we'll take you out on this occasion with a tribute to one of the all-time great sidecar riders who is present here tonight, 5 times national champion Glenn O'Brien. The Icon Suspension International Speedway Masters now has the great honour of paying tribute to one of Australian Sidecar Speedway's all-time great competitors. The West Australian, to whom I refer, won 5 Australian championships, including 3 in a row between 2000 and 2002. He won 4 titles with his brother Nathan on the side and a host of other blue ribbon events. This Australian Speedway legend also won 5 West Australian championships and an Australian Best Pairs championship. He claimed 2nd place in the 2011 World Championship after coming out of retirement following a break of 7 years from active competition. Throughout his glittering career, he travelled more kilometres across Australia than any other rider in his era, chasing perfection with a steely determination to elevate the profile of Speedway sidecar racing. He was the professional's professional. Ladies and gentlemen, please salute Mr. Glenn O'Brien.